Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a soul tribe reading. My headphones are plugged in, so if you see the cord, I apologize. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Delia sent me this beautiful deck. This one right here, the Numinous Astro deck. And I was using it last night, and it's beautiful, and I wanted to come use it with you guys. I have no idea what this reading is going to be about, but we'll see. It's soul tribe reading, so whatever needs to come out. Maybe you're feeling the energy right now, my friends. You know, like maybe you're feeling the heaviness in the energy. I'm not gonna lie, yesterday I woke up and I spent 2 hours turtling on my bathroom floor, which is, you know, where I curl up into a ball and cry. I was gonna do it on the full moon, which is Sunday, but for some reason I just couldn't wait. It's not like anything bad happened, you know? Like some people, when you tell them that you're crying, they're like, oh my gosh, what happened? Nothing. But I just woke up feeling like very heavy energy, feeling like I needed to, you know, turtle on my bathroom floor and cry. Anyway, so maybe you're going through that. Today, one of my kids is now in that energy. My kid, who I believe is an empath, who picks up on energy, is feeling, you know, quite emotional and tired today. So I told them, you know, said, if you need to cry, you cry. It's so funny when somebody gives you permission to cry, like we need permission to cry. I find that whenever I say that to someone, it's okay, you can cry, they start like bawling. It's, you know, it's almost having that validation that it's okay to have feelings, if that makes any sense. And, you know, if you're someone who struggles to feel your feelings, maybe you need to tell yourself it's okay to feel those feelings and they're there for a reason. And if you don't feel them, you're going to feel them at a later date more intensely. So I'm a huge fan of feeling your feelings. So yeah, maybe you need to, you know, turtle on the bathroom floor and cry. There is the noise of a trimmer. I really hope that's not annoying anyone. But anyway, let's get into the reading. So this deck is actually, you know, I was looking at it yesterday and I was saying to my partner, not that he knows what I'm talking about, I'm like, the world better watch out because I'm going to start learning about houses. And anyway, all of these cards, like there's something about this book. I'm not sure if I just find it really easy to understand because I'm neurodivergent and it's like, it's laid out in a very easy to read like way with interpretations. But when you look at these like planet cards, the houses, it shows which tarot cards they correspond with. So I feel like the more I use this deck and the more I read this book over and over and over and over again, because that's how I learned, I'm going to be able to make the connections. Anyway, I don't know. It excited me when I was using it last night. It made me excited. Soul spark energy, you know? And I don't mean with another person. I mean like when you feel your soul light up. And I know this sounds really weird because I know a lot of people aren't religious. I was never religious or spiritual. But it's like this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm not overly religious, but it's interesting when you can feel that little light shining. That trimmer is annoying me. Interesting. It's distracting me. One thing I wanted to mention last night is, I think it came up in the Soul Tribe reading the other day about sharing your spirituality with people who are, you know, of the Muggle mindset. You really do, you know, you sound crazy. And yesterday, I didn't talk to my friend at all during the day, like my non-spiritual friend. And I said, you know, I'm just having a day. I'm feeling the energy. And she said, tell me more. And I'm like, well, and I was trying to think of like, what do I say? And I'm like, well, you know, with that full moon coming up, I'm feeling a lot of emotions. And she was like, well, tell me more. What does that mean? And I was like, how do I put it into words to someone who like has flat out said they don't believe in spirituality. So I said something about timelines and I lost, like, that was it. I said something, I said, like, I think it is, I said something about timelines and I said, like, just a little snippet about how I feel like I'm shifting timelines. I don't really know how to explain it. And, you know, I got the tinfoil hat comment. So the other thing that I was seeing, oh my gosh, I was seeing on TikTok, I'm seeing, I understand that some people have, you know, schizophrenia, and I'm still down in the rabbit hole about all of that right now. But I saw this person who was getting committed because they said that, you know, they were able to talk to angels and that they saw dark entities and things like that. And I, like, that's the approach. Like, that's how it feels, or that's the reaction of the Muggle world is, well, you must be crazy, you know? You know, I always make that joke, if I disappear, it's because they've had me committed because I believe in magic. Anyway, my friend asked, so I was trying to speak to her about it, and I said, once you tap into it, it's hard to see I don't even know how to describe it. I truly have no, I don't know how to describe it right now. But anyway, this headphone thing is bugging me. It's really interesting because I'm wearing my headphones as comfort right now. I'm going to try taking them off. They're not actually on. I just wear them because as a neurodivergent person, I'm extremely sensitive to noise. Like, even right now, I feel like I'm yelling because I've taken my headphones off. I feel like I can hear everything. You know, I've always been told that I have, like, super hearing, super smell, super scent, whatever. And again, I'm wondering, those are types of psychic ability. So I think that's interesting. But anyway, clearly I'm still questioning things about neurodivergency, and maybe we're just, again, I'm going to say it again, I'm going to put it out there, that, you know, maybe neurodivergent people are actually people who are very connected with the spirit world and aren't meant to kind of, they have a hard time getting used to the human way, fitting into the box, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, this is what I mean. Like, I thought I could just, my friend was asking me about my spirituality, and I was like, how can I put this in, like, terms that's not gonna scare her? And then, you know, I brought up, because she was like, oh, that's fascinating. You know, I wish I had more of a positive mindset. And I, of course, was like, well, you can have a more positive mindset. I'm like, it takes work. And I started talking about how that's what, you know, when I went through cognitive behavioral therapy, it's rewiring and retraining your brain, that these thoughts that you've been programmed to have all of your life. And then she said, well, I would do that, but I can't afford therapy. And I'm like, you don't need therapy, or you don't need to go to therapy to do this. But that's that ego mind. And I used to be like that. And that is one of the secrets of breaking through that veil, to me, breaking into that energy of manifestation is retraining your brain to positive thinking. And it's not just like, I'm going to smile no matter what, and oh, life always works out. It's not like, and I'm not talking, Pollyanna was onto something, but I'm talking about, like, making a conscious effort to believe that you can fulfill your dreams, that you can have the things you want. And again, as soon as I started talking about it, I started getting those, like, little ego, again, I used to be there, I get it. I started getting those little ego comments like, oh, well, I would, but there's this. And again, I go through it in my head all the time. I was talking to my friend about it, how I used to say that I could never live on my own. And when I would tell that to myself, well, you'll never be able to live on your own, I would have all these things that would pop up, all these voices, my negative thinking that would say, yeah, you never could, because you could never support yourself. You could never do this. You could never do that. Blah, 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 blah. And I've really been thinking about it lately, that truly the only person that's stopping myself from living on my own, and I'm not talking about running away from my children. That's not what I'm talking about. The only person stopping me is actually me. I could. Anyway, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but let's get into your reading. I like that I can talk to you guys and you guys understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so this, very interesting. This card came out for me like 3 times yesterday. And it says speech, thoughts, social media, excursions, dating, siblings, research, street life, circulation, discussions surrounding sociability. And it's perception. Do I want to read that? Do I want to talk to you about that? I do. We also have Mars here, action. Interesting. Speech and action. There could be something about communication here. My throat did close right over there. I don't know anything about houses, and this is how I'm learning. Shout out to my friend who knows about these things. And I'm always like, I admire that quality in her. I admire that she knows all that. And I feel like, I don't know, these friends have been inspiring me in different ways, you know? Anyway, it inspires me I could do that. I'm complimenting her for knowing about the houses and things like that. I have that within me. The only one stopping me is myself from picking up a book and learning about it. Anyway, the 3rd house. So, tarot cards, the 8, 9, and 10 of swords. This is what I mean. Watch out when I start making these connections. Watch out. In my tarot readings, I'm going to start being like, and this is 3rd house energy. I'm making fun of future self. So the 8, 9, 10 of swords. So that is about the 8 of swords is about self-imposed thoughts, self-imposed fear, the fear that keeps us from going after what we desire, the swords that are around us that we feel are stopping us, but in reality, we could just, pick up the swords and move them and move on. 9 of swords is fear, anxiety, overthinking. 10 of swords can be painful endings, ego deaths, even like letting go of, I'm hearing, because I keep bringing it up, programmed thinking. And how we're just like, we're programmed like little freaking robots or something. It's interesting. Anyway, I am down in the abyss, my friends. Rabbit hole, abyss, whatever you want to call it. I am there with my coffee. Actually, it's lemon water today. So the 3rd house shows our relationship to the world around us. It is the realm of communication, the way we reflect our unique perception back out into the world. A reporter's notebook in which to record our understanding of the symbols, ideas, and concepts we encounter. All things words can be found dwelling within this domain. Interesting. I was just thinking about how I was talking the other day about the language of the universe, and if you know, or whatever it is that you say it is, God, whatever it is that you believe in, once you know the language of how to communicate with it, again, I sound crazy. I'm not talking, well, maybe some people have actual conversations with spirit, whatever. I'm talking about deciphering the codes from the universe that are trying to put you on the right direction. Angel numbers that you're supposed to be looking up, signs that you're supposed to be taking note of, Again, I always tell you guys, follow your wisps. You're seeing things for a reason. If you randomly look up and see a plane and you looked up before you heard the plane, or you randomly look up and you see like some yellow bird, look it up. Look it up look up what it means. The other thing is number synchronicities. Like if a number, like let's say you're watching this YouTube reading right now and you look down at the views and for some reason that number is like, look me up, look it up. Anyway, follow your wisps. What I'm experiencing, again, at the risk of sounding absolutely bonkers, my signs and synchronicities are starting to align with these soul tribe people that I'm finding, which I find freaking magical. I talked about it the other day in a reading where my friend and I, we pulled the same cards from the same deck. And then this morning, I pulled cards from below the surface ocean deck. And when I had taken pictures of my cards and I sent them to my friend to look at, and then they said, hang on, I didn't even show you the cards I pulled this morning, and they pulled the same cards. I think one thing I wanted to talk about was on TikTok, I came across this masculine who is always talking about going on Hinge and dating. And I almost commented on his content, but then I decided not to because I didn't know like how it would come across. But I came across a TikTok yesterday where he was saying, that's it, you guys. Am I really about to download Hinge for the 6th time? What is it that I'm looking for? Like, am I going to find what I'm looking for on Hinge? And I was like yelling through my screen, you're looking for love within yourself. You're looking for love within yourself. Even the way that again, I'm not going to say who this is because there's lots of feminines and masculines who are doing this on social media. But they start making this dating content. And again, I'm someone who sees through the veil. I'm not here to cast judgment or anything. But I see it as them looking for external validation. You know, they're making this dating content and getting all this external validation from the opposite sex. I mean, that's what it looks like to me anyway. Anyway, he was going on about how he was going to join Hinge for the 6th time and he's going to regret it. Why will he do it? And his comment section is full of women that are like, I'm single, I'm right here, throwing themselves at him. Saying that they're going to change their location to wherever he's from so that they can meet him on Hinge. And anyway, this person keeps going on Hinge and deleting it because they're not finding what they want. And I think what they're looking for, again, I know this sounds bonkers, but I feel like this person is searching for self-love and he just doesn't realize it. And I think that he needs, like he was talking about, why do I need it? Why do I need to go on Hinge? Like, why do I need... And I was like, again, yelling through my screen, but I didn't want to comment that you're asking why you need it. Why do I need love? Why do I need someone else in my life to validate my worth? Why do I need someone else in my life to feel loved? It's because you don't love yourself. And again, that's like a huge lesson that I've been learning for like 2 years now. I'm still learning it. I still this morning before I started this reading, I was talking to my friend about that, about how I've never been good at loving myself, like ever. It's only just recently that I started even taking pictures of myself, like selfies of myself. I used to hate people who did that. I used to make fun of them and I used to be like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to take my selfie. And what I'm realizing is that anybody that I ever judged or made fun of, it's because it was reflecting shadows on me. Like it was reflecting onto my shadows that I didn't know were there. So I was like judging people who were taking selfies because deep down I didn't have the self-love to desire to want to take a picture of myself. And you know, people make fun of, I'm not talking about narcissism when like, or like in a movie where someone's like narcissistic and you go into their house and there's pictures of them everywhere. Like, you know, the Disney characters I'm talking about, that like the princes who have pictures of themselves everywhere. What's wrong with having a picture of yourself somewhere though? Like, what is wrong with that? Anyway, I have no idea where that all came from, but I just wanted to, I do love readings, you know, for no reason other than my higher self has guided me to do it. I've always been, I have no idea why, because it really doesn't align with my life. But since I was a kid, I've been like obsessed with love songs and movies about love. And again, now that I'm saying it, maybe it's because I didn't love myself and I thought that love would come from another person. But even in saying that, I'm finding that it was like my higher self was prepping me for my purpose, which is like a love reader. I know it. What was my point? My point is that I believe the key to finding love, union, whatever, is to find it within yourself first. Like to reach that 9 of Pentacles where you know that everything you need comes within you. Anyway, again, I have no idea where all that came from. I have no idea where all that came from. Anyway, this card also says to be careful thinking that you know it all. And I used to be someone who thought I knew everything. Like, oh, those people going to church on a Sunday, they don't know what they're doing. I know the secret. The secret is that we're just, you know, here living out our lifetime and then we die and then nothing happens. Like, I used to think that I knew it all. Again, think about the things you're most judgmental about, because I feel like that's a sign of things to come. Anyway, but your perception, like maybe I'm just thinking of that programmed thinking again, that self-imposed prison. We've all been put in these tiny little prisons. Anyway, again, I'm down in the abyss right now, my friends. Sipping on my lemon water. Well, I'm so glad that wasn't a face reading. I took a sip of lemon water that was old, and right before I started this reading, I was looking at my cans of lemon water and my higher self was like, you should really clean those up. And then I just took a big sip of one during this reading and I just couldn't make myself swallow it. But it made me think of, for some reason, and I'm trusting it, it made me immediately think of, like before I spit it out, it immediately made me think of when you're at a higher vibration and you come across like something or someone that you're no longer aligned with. It's like taking a sip of that flat lemon water. It's like, whoa, that does not align with me anymore. Anyway, I don't know where that came from, but I'm going to take a sip of the right lemon water, which is this one. Is it this one? Now I'm afraid. I actually don't know. Is it this one? Oh, if you're neurodivergent, do you have like unfinished drinks around you? Listen, I sat down and I put the coldest one the furthest away from me. Explain that logic to me. Anyway, again, my higher self told me I should have cleaned up. Lesson learned. Now I'm going to move these away from me so that I don't grab them again. All right. I'm also experiencing something else, you guys, which someone please tell me if I'm crazy. Well, please don't. I don't care what you think. I don't care if you think I'm crazy. I'm magical. I have noticed, I don't know if anybody in this soul tribe reading watched the reading where my glasses broke during a reading. And I tried to like keep wearing them. I thought, well, they're just cracked. I'll just keep wearing them. And then they like fell off my face into the reading. Somebody said that they thought it was very symbolic of my gifts elevating, or like my sight elevating, my psychic sight. And ever since that happened, my glasses are no longer, I need them to be stronger. Like I need to go get my eyes checked because all of a sudden I'm struggling with my eyesight more. Everything seems, again, like I need a stronger prescription all of a sudden. And I'm just wondering if anybody who is spiritual, who's listening to this, has experienced that. Anyway, and again, a muggle will say, it's just old age. I'm not talking to you, you muggle. I think it's so interesting how people who love Harry Potter are so insulted when they hear the word muggle because they're not, like, they don't believe in magic. I don't know why I find that so funny. Anyway. I don't know why I find that so funny. I shouldn't find it funny maybe, but I do. They're like so insulted. It's like, well, do you believe in magic? And I'm not talking movie magic. Well, no. Well, then you're a muggle. Anyway, not that I've ever said that to anyone, but I've wanted to. We have revolution, breakthroughs. This is so interesting. I had this fly that was like, would not leave me alone this morning. And I immediately thought, somebody told me that flies can actually be very symbolic of someone watching you, someone like stalking, like spiritually keeping an eye on you or whatever, stalking, whatever. We have Uranus, revolution, breakthroughs, brainstorming, originality, insight, awakening, technology, innovation, humanitarianism, reform, surprise, freedom, experimentation, the unexpected, rupture, edge, diversity, lightning. Interesting. So let's see what it's about. Let's learn together. Again, I love my soul tribe readings because I know that my soul tribe people are doing things like cleaning their house or working or sitting outside or having a coffee, and you're here to hear the messages and to learn and to, you know, I love that. You're not just here for instant gratification, if that makes sense. Oh, okay, I'm really horrible at finding things in this book, and before you say it, there is not a real table of contents in this book. It's not real. It's a guide. I feel like every card should be like listed, you know, with this is the page number it's on. And that's funny coming from me, someone who doesn't use table of contents. But the table of contents in this is like that. So anyway. So Aquarius, we have Aquarius here. I'm hearing Aquarius. House 11, tarot card, the Fool. See, I'm going to make all these connections in my tarot readings. I'm going to try. Interesting. Orbit, 84 years, changes sign every 7 years. I have no idea what any of that means. Retrograde motion once per year for about 5 months. So let's read it, my friends. It does talk about sudden change, ideas, acquaintances, groupthink, sudden change, revelations, opinion, detachment, flash in the pan, objectives, irresponsibility, explosion, genius, trial and error, masterminds. Rebel planet Uranus brings disruption and change, and all in the name of progress. I wish I knew more about this transit that's happening tomorrow. I wish I knew more about it to share with you, but I don't. Again, who's stopping me from knowing these things? Just me. I could learn them. The rowdy heckler at the back of the State of the Nation address, it is both rabble-rouser and devil's advocate, the quirky eccentric leading us astray in search of a better day. Uranus is the shock of the new and the brave and the brilliant dawning of a whole new world. I'm hearing a whole new world, Aladdin. Ruler of our inner and outer revolutions, Uranus brings breakdowns in order to bring breakthroughs. I love that. So it could be that recently things were being removed from your life that weren't meant to come with you on this next part of your journey, that aren't aligned with your timeline. Like that sip of water I took. Like, that's not coming with me. That's not coming with me on this next transit. Staging interventions where our energy has become stagnated. It urges us to innovate. Wake up, it instructs, with a jangling alarm and a jolt of electric current. Where the path ahead is muddied and worn, it is for us to pave a peculiar new way. Looking to the stars for guidance, Uranus lives on the edge, far beyond the realm of our carefully constructed comfort zones. And with the backpack full of life hacks to teleport us farther into the future, the invitation is always to keep up or to be left behind. And that's kind of how I understand, from what I understand, what's happening with the planets right now in like really like basic terms that I understand it. I'm not saying this is fact, is that truly whatever is meant to this transit that we're going through, whatever's not meant to come with us is supposed to be left behind. And if we don't leave it behind, we risk being stuck in our old timeline or whatever. Again, I don't know enough about it to be confident in what I'm saying. I just kind of see, I'm like feeling the energy of exactly that, of if it doesn't align for you, let it go. Otherwise you risk this expansion. And right underneath we have expansion. You know, it's that mentality of make space for it. Like remove the things in your life that no longer align with you. The flat, fizzy water. Anyway. When you pull this card, how can you harness the power of group consciousness by joining up and participating in something much larger than yourself? Uranus rules brainstorms and blue sky thinking. Excuse you. Excuse you again. Somebody in my house just sneezed twice. Or should I say bless you? Now listen, this is how programmed thinking works. When I was younger, I used to love believing that when we said bless you, it stopped your soul from escaping, because that's what I was told, is that people would say it so that your soul wouldn't escape. Look up sneezing and releasing of energy. But anyway, and then, you know, and then I met someone who was like not into that. And they would say things like, I don't feel like I have the right to bless anyone. And they would say, I hate it when people say bless me. I hate it when blah, blah, blah. And they said it to me, and I wanted to people please so much that I trained myself no longer to say bless you. Even though I always believed in saying it, I was always like superstitious or whatever you call it. And then I had that person completely reprogram that in me. And even now, you heard it, I say, excuse me. And I hear that person's voice in my head. I don't have the right to bless anyone. And now, like me, all spiritual over here, I'm like, we're all blessings. Anyway, clearly I need to work on that. Clearly I need to start saying bless you again. Who can you call on to mastermind your situation and help you come up with an as yet unimaginable solution to your current conundrum? There is an opportunity now to break on through the boundaries of self-imposed limitations, Eight of Swords, and build something brand new from the ground up. Embrace the exhilarating sensation of throwing caution to the winds of change and crafting a vision that embodies your highest ideals. Journal prompt, invent an app that would solve all your current problems. Interesting. All right. It's funny because this was talking about Eight of Swords energy. It said it's self-imposed fears, self-imposed imprisonment. And that card, the third card that came out, was associated with the 8, 9, 10 of Swords. And you know what? Getting rid of programmed thinking is like the hardest thing for me, I find. It's like, and I know that's like one of the final ego deaths to have. But man, that little, like I almost called it the B word. That programmed thinking is a B word. Anyway, let's see what needs to come out for you. I don't know how long this reading will be, but we have mystery. The numinous mystery. Oh, and this is called the numinous deck. Beautiful. The unknown, the unknowable, ESP, psychic abilities, the cosmos, universal truth, oneness, source, the unnameable, shadow work, inner knowing, tingling, ghosts. Ooh, I have the tingles. Other worlds, space, enigmas, the occult, intuition. And I was just saying there was somebody on social media who said they saw a ghost. And they were being pulled away by the police. Like, and I was just watching like, oh my gosh. Like, and I don't even, again, I don't even know where this comes from because I'm not someone who, like when I channel, I have no idea where it comes from. I'm not someone who ever thought this way before, but I just heard in my head, again, I've never thought this way before, but I just heard in my head, stay in line, you little sheep. I don't know why I heard that. Again, I know that some people are like, hate the police, love the police, whatever. I'm not talking about the police. I'm talking about that, well, that person says they see a ghost, so they must be psychotic because everyone's supposed to fit into this nice, neat little box. Anyway. Let's read your card. Let's read your card. I'm sure this one came out for me last night. I remember being really upset because it took me so long to find it, like in the book, that I just got frustrated and didn't even read it, I don't think. If you are someone who like works with energy or reads cards or is neurodivergent and struggles with noise, I'm always like, oh, I'll take a tarot deck down into my living room to look at while I spend time with my family. And then every time I do it, it's like, note to self, stop doing this because you can't think, right? Again, I pulled this card last night and I have no memory of it. Where are you? I'm so sorry. It's going to take me a minute to find this because this one, like I said last night, I got so frustrated not being able to find this card right here, this specific one. So I'm in the signs. Now I'm in the planets. I know somebody's yelling at me that it's in some, that's not a planet. I know. I know it's not a planet, or is it? I don't know. Is it a planet? It's in the planet section. See? I need to learn. It's on page 69. How interesting. Again, not for muggle reasons. The numinous. Spirituality, mysticism, all-pervasive, veil, unconscious, ether, extrasensory, telepathy, ghost, supernatural, divining or divining, essence, the goddess, all signs, houses 4, 8, 12, the Queen Tarot. All right then, the Queens. Interesting. Not a planet or a specific point in any birth chart. See, but it's in the planets. Do you see why I couldn't find it? Not a planet or a specific point in any birth chart. The numinous represents the great mystery. Can I just say I'm having a channel download? Because I said It's in the planet section, but this card is telling me it's not a planet or a specific point of in any birth chart. And it made me think of the energy of how we're not meant to fit into a section. We're not meant to fit into a box, is what I'm hearing. This energy is not meant to fit into the label of planet or whatever in this book. Anyway, weird download. I just had to mention it. I have so many downloads that I don't mention because of my ego. And I'm going to start mentioning them. So this represents a great mystery. So maybe you feel, you know, like an alien. It is everywhere and everything that cannot be named. The particles of stardust from which our soul is woven. It is the unknowable essence of our being. Permeating each nook and cranny of our charts, it radiates outward on our every breath, enveloping us with wonder. The numinous, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, is the fumes that emanate from the primordial ooze and the enchanting moonlight whisperings of the goddess. Swimming closest to the surface of the watery houses of our charts, 4, 8, and 12, and those are ruled by Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, the numinous is both ocean and night sky. It is a gust of gossamer wind, the goosebumps on our skin, and the secret sauce that nurtures the seeds of our soul purpose. Stop asking so many questions, the numinous insists. There is no need to understand the how and the why, for deep down inside we already know it all. The numinous invites us to feel, to trust, to remember, to sink deeper into the internal layers of our being, and to simply allow the unfolding of each precious moment. When you pull this card, the Numiverse has a message for you. This may be delivered in words, as an image or a vision, in a dream, or simply as a sense of knowing. Your job is to tune into the correct frequency so that you can listen. And what did I say about learning how to know the language of the universe? Because that's how the universe tells you what you're supposed to be doing. I'm serious. The universe can guide you. I know I sound like Grandmother Willow. Let it guide you. My child. Anyway. So you have a message coming to you, you know, and I'm not talking about, remember that third house, I said communication, and not the communication that you're expecting. It's the communication from the universe, your higher power, whatever it is that you believe in, God, whatever it is that you believe in. And you need to know how to interpret that message. And that's why learning this intuitive language is so important, and it is a muscle. I did the whole thing like, oh, I just saw that. Oh, I just saw that. Oh, I'm seeing signs everywhere. Oh, another sign. Once you start looking them up and you start taking note and you start truly like tapping into that language of symbolism and synchronicities, they get more powerful. They get more magical. They get more crazy. I'm here for the crazy ones. Anyway, in the coming hours or days, use the awareness cultivated in your meditation practice to become extra alert to any occurrences that seem to hold special meaning for you. And if you don't already meditate daily, this is a great time to begin. Again, the only people stopping us from doing these things are ourselves. And, you know, I am someone who is always like, yeah, I'll meditate. And then I never do. But when you look at it logically, how long does it take? Like, you can dedicate 10 or 15 minutes of your day to meditation. How many minutes of our day do we dedicate to like mindlessly scrolling TikTok? Like, I talk about TikTok a lot. I'm on like spiritual TikTok, which is like a whole other side of TikTok. But seriously, like, I could take 10 to 15 minutes eating a bag of chips. Like, it's all about how you choose to prioritize your time. I don't know why I feel like I keep mentioning this about working out, but I was someone who was like, last month was sitting around feeling very uncomfortable in my body, feeling like I wanted to work out, not having the drive to do so. and feeling like I didn't have the time and, oh, it'd be so annoying and working out. Yuck. I mean, you guys know I used to make fun of it all the time. I used to make fun of it all the time. Why? Because it was triggering a wound. It was triggering a shadow. And I spend 25 minutes of my day, in the beginning of my day, doing this workout. And in 10 days, I feel completely different. Like, I feel completely different. And again, I'm just like, why the heck didn't I do it sooner? It's 20 to 25 minutes of my freaking day. I can spend 20 to 25 minutes of my day eating chocolate, you know, like, or scrolling on TikTok or this or that. Why can't I dedicate it to that? Anyway, again, I have no idea why any of this comes out during these readings. Oh, it also says the message could come as a penny drop moment in a conversation with a friend. A message on the side of a bus that seems to be speaking just to you. When you open your third eye and choose to believe, the signs are everywhere. I have chills. I seriously have chills, because when you do open your third eye and choose to believe, it becomes, like I said, magical. It becomes freaking magic. You tap into the language of the universe and everything seems magic. Like overwhelmingly so. I have goosebumps right now. And you know, that penny drop moment in a conversation with a friend, that's sometimes all it takes. Or seeing that message on the side of the bus, or, you know, really odd story. I asked, when I first started awakening, I had a weird experience with a balloon, and then I asked the universe for a sign, and I was guided to watch this movie, and I watched this movie, and there were so many penny drop moments in that movie for me. And at the very end, the child is walking holding a red balloon, which was the specific sign that I had chosen. And it's in the end of the movie, the main characters with their kid, and the kid is holding this red balloon, and the quote that the main character says at the end of the movie was like such a mind blown moment for me. And again, to the muggles, that sounds crazy. Like, oh, getting messages from movies, okay. It's an actual thing, you know? Again, the universe doesn't work in mysterious ways. It works in magical ways, and we're just blind to the magic of it all, in my opinion. And we call it mysterious. We label it mysterious. We gaslight ourselves, you know? We've been taught to gaslight ourselves by society, by our parents. You know, I fully believed, I know I've said this before, I fully believed when I was young I could heal my animals. They would go to the vet, and the vet would say, this animal needs to be put down. Take it home. And I would go home, and I would like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just a young child, but I would write on a little piece of paper over and over and over again, my cat will get better. My cat will get better. My cat will overcome this. My cat will overcome this. My cat will overcome this. And I didn't know it. As a child, I was scripting. I was like my higher self. Anyway, if you know what I'm talking about, you know. And then I would roll them up, and I'd wear them around my neck in a necklace. And then things would happen to these animals. They'd come back from the brink of death, and the vet would be like, there's just no explanation. And I would tell my parents, that was me. Like, I just hoped hard enough that it would happen, and I made it happen. And I was told that I was crazy. I was told that that's not real. I believe that we're all born, like, I believe we're all born magical, and we're taught to lose that magic along the way. Anyway, I don't know why I'm getting so emotional, but you have a message coming. Maybe it's like a penny drop moment in this reading. You know, maybe you were someone who used to think you could make magical things happen. And, you know, I used to watch people who believed that they could heal themselves with things other than medicine, and I was so judgmental. So judgmental. And just touching back, because for those of you who are on this journey with me, you know that I came off medication for depression and ADHD. I came off them both. And I have never felt more alive in my life. I've never felt more alive. And anytime that I feel emotional or I react to something, my immediate response is a programmed one that's wrong. It's wrong to have emotions. It's wrong to feel. You should feel guilty for feeling that way. You wouldn't be crying if you were on that medication. But on the other hand, I know that the pros for me outweigh that because I'm feeling things I've never felt before. My connection to spirit, my psychic ability, whatever, is stronger than it's ever been. I'm feeling a range of emotions that I haven't felt my entire life, you know? Anyway, so listen for that message. It's coming. And don't just listen, be on the lookout, because it could come like on a billboard. You know, I'm seeing like a church billboard. Again, I used to drive by churches and I'd see those billboards. And I'd be like, okay, okay then, you churchgoers. And now I drive by them and I'm like, they have a point. That is truth. I mean, anyway, let's keep going. We have empowerment conjunction. Combines with, enhances, strengthens, joins forces, activates, intensifies, authorizes, allies with, concentrates, saturates, overrides, overwhelms. Empowerment. Beautiful. Now, where would that be, my friends? Would that be in the aspects? Which is on page what? Where is it? 88? Ooh, 88. Look up what 88 means. Start looking up these numbers. And if you have like a little flash that's like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 7. Maybe I should look that up. And then all of a sudden you're like not looking it up. That's the message, okay? Those are those little intuitive whispers. That's spirit trying to get your attention. You need to learn how to listen. So many times spirit's like, look that up. And I'm just, I'll do it later. Don't be like me. On page 88, beautiful. And eights are about transitions. I know that. Manifestation, entrepreneur, authoritative, successful, goal-oriented, powerful. And eights are about transitions. The conjunction occurs when 2 or more planets meet and is an aspect that reveals our muscle and our mojo, a saturated point of empowerment and life force. Where is it? Where did I go? I got distracted. And our potential for entrenchment in one particular mode of being. We're colored by it completely, sometimes at the expense of tasting the rest of the rainbow. Conjunctions lead to concentrations of energy. We cannot help but do both planets at once. If you've got a Mars-Venus conjunction, for example, relationships are innately married to battle and friction, and there is a pleasure in the pushback. Representing core values and needs, and by association, defense mechanisms and unconscious behaviors, conjunctions remind us of the longings that course through the very blood of our veins. Very interesting. Ultimately, the greatest gift of this aspect is to teach us how to align our desires with our actions. Treat each conjunction like an overflowing buffet. Divining? Is that how you say it? Divining? Or is it divining? How and why do I care? Like, I just heard a voice. Why the heck do you care? Who cares how you pronounce it? How much you need of which dishes and exactly when you've eaten your fill. When the conjunction card arrives, explore what you've been defending ferociously and where you might benefit from a little bit more loosening up. What habitual groove or less conscious behavior is starting to feel like it's doing you rather than being done by you? How can you take up space in a way that's neither offensive nor defensive, but that simply acknowledges your needs and desires and lets the world respond. The conjunction card invites you to ungrip your palms and stand your ground, noticing how deliciously solid the earth feels beneath your feet. Journal prompt: the part of yourself you most fiercely defend, and what you are protecting beneath it. I don't know about you, but I'm going to take these journal prompts, and then tomorrow on this transit, full moon, blue moon, magic thing that's happening, I'm going to journal about some of these things. I'm also going to write a letter to my inner child about their childhood and about how none of it was their fault. And maybe you're feeling called to do the same. Let's get one more. And then there was another. Okay. Okay. I'm being told to take this one. That came out with a bang. North Node Destiny. This came up for me last night. I sent this card to 2 of my friends. Very interesting, my friends, how that came flying out. What do we have? We have Outlook, Ascendant. Worldview, mission statement, expression, effect, role, mark, attitude, outer self, point of view, body image, aura, likeness, approach, impact, first impressions. So anytime I look at the bottom of the deck and I don't talk about it, Spirit's like, excuse me? Seriously, like my guides made me look at it and then I didn't talk about it. And then look what happened. Did you see the way the cards behaved? Did you see that? Spirit was like, pay attention. Talk about it, Kelly. So let's talk about it. And then I'm going to take this North Node card, and we have perception on the bottom. So we were meant to talk about that card. And you know, I was talking about friends, and this card talks about speech, thoughts, and I don't know why, but seeing this sibling thing, what I was seeing was somebody talking to their sibling. I'm not sure if that resonates with anyone, but I was seeing that you or someone you know talking with their sibling about something. Not sure what that means. You know, it could be that you're letting if it's you, it could be that you're letting the opinion of your friend or your sibling, like maybe they have a strong opinion about all of this spiritual stuff. Maybe they're not awakened. Maybe you're dealing with someone who is getting advice from their sibling about you. Again, no idea why I'm hearing that. I was looking up just Soul Tribe chat while I'm, you know, not doing anything. Ascendant, where would that be? Would that be in the back here? Under aspects? What was I just about to say? Soul Tribe chat. My friend sent me the different types of psychic ability. I talked about this in a pick a card. And I wanted the psychic... Spirit's like not happy with me right now. I'm someone who needs external validation. Like I'm someone who needs like 3D validation. And again, I'm truly learning to let that go. I often talk about like, are you waiting for a sign, like something to plunk down in front of you in the 3D saying that this is all real? Because it's not going to happen. Anyway, my friend sent me the different types of psychic abilities, clairvoyances, whatever. I don't know the correct terminology. And as I was reading through all these different beautiful gifts that people get, I'm like, oh, how nice, you know? The one with smell, there's validation because you're smelling something. The one where you hear someone, when you hear things, there's validation because you actually hear someone saying something. There's people who see it in their mind's eye or like can shut their eyes or they have visions. Again, they can see it. And what type of clairvoyant am I? The knowing, the one with the inner knowing, the one that just I don't know why, but I feel like I need to say this. I don't know why, but I feel like this is going to happen. The one without, you know, the validation anyway. If someone could help me understand this book, is Ascendant a planet? Because this does not make any sense to me. Again, I can hear somebody talking to me about this right now. And whenever I say that, someone's like, I was just yelling at you that it's this. I can hear you. Ascendant, it's in the planets. Is it a planet? No, it's not a planet. They should have a special section for the different ones that aren't planets. Personality, physicality, invitation, smile, stance, individuality, looks, opinion, manifestation. It's on page 66. Spirit is sending you 88, 66, 69. Look them up. Mask, dressing room, debut, dawn. The Knights. The Knights are messengers. House 1, all signs. Not a planet or planetary placement, the ascendant or rising sign. What's your rising sign? Mine's a Libra. Marks the point at which we make our squealing debut. In our charts, it shows which sign of the zodiac was cresting on the eastern horizon as we emerge from the womb. It shows the energetic flavor of our first gulps of air, the texture and the feeling tone of our arrival, and therefore the cosmic imprint we embody in the world. Our ascendant and our human suit, and the mode with which we move through the world. Our ascendant is our human suit, and the mode with which we move through the world. Our literal physicality and the conduit that channels each aspect of our charts into our lives. The foundation of our personality, it is both our megaphone and our bathroom mirror. The style of our expression and the way in which we are perceived. Ruler of first impressions, the ascendant is also a mask we've been crafting since birth. A dance mastered as we adapt and respond to our environment in order to navigate the ups and downs of life. Both starter's block and the terrain we traverse. When the ascendant aligns with our soul purpose, we know we're on the right track. Beautiful. Again, I know that it's easy for me to sit here and say, like, find your soul purpose. It'll be the best thing you ever did. And I know that sounds ridiculous coming from someone you're watching, like, live their soul purpose. I mean, I don't know. I used to find that ridiculous when I would watch, like, I'd watch these well-known readers talk about manifestation, and these well-known psychics talk about manifestation and give these manifestation techniques about how to manifest money into your life. And my ego mind would be like, oh, that's easy for you to say because you're, you know, you're doing this and you have all these followers and all these, like, you're probably, people are giving you money, so it's easy for you to manifest money. Like, I was so like, listen to my old self, that little judgmental voice in me. Oh my goodness. I appreciate you. You got me to where I needed to be. But anyway, take it from someone who used to sit around watching people live their soul purpose. And I used to tell myself, well, that's nice for them, but not everyone can do that. Yes, you can. And take it from me. When you're living your soul purpose, I mean, for me, that's where I've found enlightenment. That's where I found happiness. That's where I've found friends. That's where I've found myself. There is something to be said for living your soul purpose. And if you don't know what your soul purpose is, you need to learn how to listen to your guides. You need to learn how to listen to that language that we've been talking about, because the signs are there. And again, your higher self probably knows your soul purpose and has been planting seeds already. My higher self knew, like, there's no reason. I channeled a Billy Joel song the other day in a reading for no reason. I have not listened to Billy Joel in a very long time. And for no reason at all, I have a very distinct memory of laying in my bed at like 7 or 8 years old, crying, listening to She's Always a Woman to Me, like feeling this gut-wrenching pain and like this, I don't know what. And I know it sounds crazy, but it feels like either I had a connection to that song in a past life, or like I truly believe my higher self was prepping me for what I'm doing now. Again, I tell you guys, like I started buying tarot cards for no reason. Like even my logical brain was like, why are you doing that? Anyway, find your soul path, find your soul mission. Easier said than done, I know. It's not an overnight thing. It's not like, Spirit, show me my soul mission, and then they send a package to you in a nice little box with a bow on it saying, here you go, this is what you're supposed to be doing. I'm still trying to find my soul mission. I know I'm on the right path though, but like I feel like I'm still trying to find my own. I just feel like I'm on the right path anyway. When you pull this card, where are the person you actually are and the person you are in the world out of alignment? So do you show the world your true self? Are you out of alignment with that? Do you mask? Are you someone, again, if you are, you're probably neurodivergent, who feels very comfortable at home in their own skin, but when you go out in public, you put on an act, so to speak, again, not in a manipulative, conscious way, but almost in like a way to protect yourself, to protect your authentic self. What version of the world do you, what do you show the world? Because for a long time, what I showed the world did not match up what I felt was within me. And then when I couldn't show the world what was within me, I started to turn into the person I was showing the world, which was very negative, quiet, isolated, didn't like speaking. And it was because I was turning into the person I was showing up as for the rest of the world, if that makes any sense to anyone. And again, I always tell you guys, the only way to attract the people who are meant to be in your life is to be your true authentic self and to not water yourself down. This card is asking you to consider ways in which you've been holding back for fear of being fully seen. Embodying your wholeness can feel vulnerable and exposing, but it is the ultimate in personal empowerment. Perhaps it's with the clothes you wear. Are you honoring your inner style, maven, or sticking to a uniform you know will help you fit in? How about your social media persona? Are you posting missives from your soul or content that you think will get likes? Take this moment to recalibrate and experiment with more authentic modes of self-expression. So this is making me think of when I first started doing what I'm doing now. I was afraid to be my true authentic self. And people will tell me that they'll go back to last year when I first started, and it's like listening to a different person, because I would script what I was saying. Not that I would script the reading, but I would like pull the cards and then I would sit there and I would like write out what I wanted to say. And then I would say it in a very like scripted manner, like this person is blah, blah, blah. Like I was not being my true authentic self. And the moment I took that mask off and just started, being my true authentic self, that's when people started to watch my content. It wasn't when I was trying to control it, if that makes any sense. It wasn't when I was masking. Again, the only person you should be comparing yourself to on your journey is yourself. And if you're having a hard time seeing your growth, compare yourself to you a year ago, or even 6 months ago, or even a month ago. Anyway. Journal prompt, write yourself a character reference for your dream job. And that in itself is a way of scripting and intention setting, because you're writing yourself a character reference for your dream job. That plants that seed that you are capable of that dream job and that you're even referring yourself for this job. So therefore you believe that you deserve this job, and you're planting that seed in the manifestation thing that I was talking about the other day. Anyway. And how interesting, North Node is the next card. That is so magical because I used these cards several times, so they were separated in this deck. That is beautiful because this is about your soul purpose and your destiny. And then we have North Node destiny. Soul school, learning curve, fulfillment, purpose, maturing, experience, fruition, North Star, process, development, practice, path, beacon, blossoming, becoming, integrity, journey. And it's here right underneath this one. Horizon, pattern breaking, discomfort zone, karma, design, direction, lesson, fate, accomplishments, acquired taste, self-integration, growth, evolution. The kings. This is the one that represents. So this is a king card, and that's the queens. I find that interesting. The North Node glimmers on the distant horizon, beckoning us towards a treasure that's both elusive and evolutionarily necessary. Ooh, that was a hard one for me. For our soul's growth. Listen to this. Like, I know I keep going back to this, but programmed thinking. I was told that I was like unintelligent because of my reading skills and my reading comprehension. I was always told as a neurodivergent kid, she would do great if she would apply herself more. Meanwhile, I was applying the shit out of, and I wasn't like the other kids, they were trying to put me in a box with other kids, and I learned and acted all like differently than other kids. And that programmed thinking that I couldn't read was like a huge blockage for me. I don't know why I'm talking about schools specifically, but look at that. Like, they're telling kids who don't fit into that box that there's something wrong with them, that they have behavioral problems, that they, Anyway, and then those kids grow up feeling like, well, I was always told I didn't apply myself enough. So that person then feels like nothing they ever do is enough, because when they tried to apply themselves when they were young, all the adults around them told them it wasn't enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. And it was enough for that person. Anyway, that's that programmed thinking that I'm talking about. So as soon as my soul was like, you could do tarot reading, it was like, well, I can't read. Like, I hate reading, so how will I ever learn? I can't like read out loud. I hate public speaking. I made every excuse. I hated my face. I hated the way I looked. I hated my voice. All of these things. Again, the only person stopping me was me. I don't know why that all came out. Not necessarily a planetary body. The north and south nodes of the moon are powerful points that connect the sun, the moon, and the earth at the time of our birth and stamp us with our spiritual destiny. Maybe you need to do your birth chart. The soul work shimmering like a distant mirage that we're tasked with making real. While the sun represents our individually magical mark, our North Node ushers in a collective destiny that transcends this lifetime. This is karma in the sense of what we're here to learn and strive towards again and again, in different forms and through different lifetimes, until we fully understand how to make it ours. Directly opposite the North Node, our South Node placement holds the magnetic potency of a past love. It represents inheritance, old ways of being, the mode of being we find comfiest, but the North Node's pull is that of the open road. When we agree to take a risk and leave the nest, whatever that nest is for you, that nest could be whatever that nest is for you. It's going to differ for all of you. When we agree to take the risk and leave the nest, we step into a sense of power that places us on the razor's edge between free will and fate. We change our fate through the acceptance of it, and it's an offer we simply cannot refuse. When the North Node arrives, there's something much larger unfolding than you may consciously realize. A situation, a challenge, a relationship has come to you that's connected to your higher purpose. I have chills. And you've entered a phase of deep soul mastery through something that may on the surface seem mundane. Your actions and attitudes towards this matter will have a lasting ripple effect through this lifetime and beyond. Consider where you're being called to interrupt a pattern of comfort to answer a higher call. Your destiny is on the line. Journal prompt. Who would you like to come back as in your next life and why? Interesting. I just said to my friend the other day, when it said, consider you're being called to interrupt a pattern or of comfort to answer a higher call. I actually just said to my friend yesterday, I was like, I don't know why, but my soul's whispering to me that someday I'm going to be on my own, which is not something that I ever thought that I would be able to do or say or anything. And I think there's a reason that my soul is whispering that. Anyway, I don't even know if this is straight. I guess I should have checked that ages ago. It's straight enough. What do I want to get you now? Because I mean, I don't know. What do I want to get you? I kind of want to get you this Muse Tarot. And I'm going to read out of the book. We have the world. We have the world right away. The world is at your fingertips. The world, I'm hearing like your soul purpose, your soul path, the thing that brings you fulfillment. The world is also about, you know, this card, one of these cards talked about breaking patterns, and the world can talk about patterns and cycles. So I'm just going to get, why don't we get one card for each? We have Knight of Inspiration on the bottom, and that's Knight of Inspiration, Knight of Wands. That's like having the bravery, the passion to go after what lights your soul up. Was it this card, the Outlook, that talked about knights in the tarot and I said messengers? And this talks about approach. So there's something here, Knight of Wands, about you approaching something with confidence and fire and passion and energy. I don't know if you can hear it, but Wally's nearby purring. As soon as I said his name, hi buddy, oh you're right there. He's right by my feet. Spontaneous creation and inspiration, taking a risk, charging ahead, following your dream. And this mystery, I feel like intuitively you know you're supposed to be going towards something. Fast output, action, enthusiasm, and the galloping pulse that gets things done, impulsiveness and haste. Magnetic symphony. Fireworks and flying flames, this Knight of Inspiration is always seeking the thrill of it all, the joy, the happy tears, the adrenaline. And listen, while I was medicated, I couldn't feel the happy tears or the adrenaline or the joy. So anyway, it didn't just numb my depression, it numbed everything else. She gallops towards adventure and the path that's the most exhilarating, which is your soul path. She listens to the pitter-patter of the rain and the call of the wind. And what was I saying? I was saying, let your intuition guide you. And I was seeing Grandmother Willow from Pocahontas, and that's what she says to Pocahontas, listen to the wind. Let the wind guide you, the call of the wind. Anyway, the grains of sand under her steps, and she shakes her wild mane and roars a giant flame to life. All of the elements are wonderful, she muses, but I wouldn't give up this flaming inspiration for the world. This fire, this passion and purpose, this love that ignites the skies and sets my symphony on fire. With enthusiasm and passion, she charges ahead, determinedly and somewhat wildly. She invites you to run with her and be ready to change the world. I'm just like, that is so amazing. It's coming out with this mystery card, which is about, you know, psychic ability and things like that. This one is about joining forces. And I feel like I'm hearing that Sex and the City quote that lives in my head. You know, this is about, she invites you to run wild with her and get ready to change the world. And I feel like maybe you're someone who's meant to help awaken people, help change the world. I have an affirmation on my wall that says, I'm a light worker in disguise. I don't need to show the world that. I just know I am. So you could resonate with being like a light worker in disguise, someone who has that light, who maybe you don't have the ability to shine it as far as you would like, but you shine it within, you know, your world. Maybe you have the fear that you can't shine it farther than that. And I'm going to tell you that you can. But I'm hearing that quote from Sex and the City, and this reading has been a lot about being put into a little box. And that quote is about, maybe we're not meant to be tamed. You know, maybe we're not meant to be put into a little box and tamed and put into a stable and conform with everyone in that lower vibration. Maybe we're meant to run wild and free. I have chills. Until we find the people who are meant to run wild and free with us. Like, I could just cry right now. This is what I mean. I could never feel, like, I know I was always emotional, you guys. But I couldn't feel this happiness emotion, which is a beautiful thing. Anyway, I have goosebumps all over me. Run with us. Let's run into the sunset together. This is on page 47, which is Emperor energy and Chariot energy, knowing your worth, charging ahead, forward momentum. 47 also equals 11, which is a sign that you're in alignment. Anyway. And there in the darkness, the tiniest spark, and I knew I could nurture this flame. And there in the heart of the womb and the art was a muse who was breathing my name. Anyway, there's something about it coming into union with ourselves, my friends. Anyway, let's see what else wants to come out. I'm only going to get a few. We have Awakening. And we have the Six of Voices. And the Ten of Voices, which is the Ten of Swords, which was coming out in that third house card. Interesting. Look at her pretty rings, you know? Anyway, I don't know why I was called to her rings. Clearly I like rings. You know, I used to watch Phoebe on Friends and I'd be like, I wish I could wear all those rings, but I was too worried about what people thought of me. Okay, so we have Awakening. Beautiful. Love it. And you don't just go through one. I'm going through like, I went through one 2.5 years ago, and now I'm going through another one that's very similar. I realized that when I found myself on my bathroom floor yesterday. And somebody was texting me, and I just sent them a picture of my ceiling. And I was like, I'll get back to you. I'm on my bathroom floor. And you know what? We've been taught, I think we've been made to feel like we can't take that time to ourselves, and it's okay to take that time to yourself. Awakening to your divine nature, judgment, facing the music, ascension, accepting and forgiving your beautiful soul. Rising above the clouds, we find clarity. And I'm hearing the song, Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong. I can't explain it. I can't explain what goes on with my jukebox. In ourselves, in our pasts, in our actions, the key to this judgment, this awakening, this reckoning of the heart and memory is to be able to dish out radical self-compassion and forgiveness. See yourself for the beautiful spark of inspiration that you are. You are divine, love, mystery. And when you open yourself up to this beautiful truth, you will see that your flaws are rooted in your humanness. Beautiful soul, briny? Anyway, you're not briny. Very interesting. Can I just say, like, I'm just going to interrupt here for another minute. When I'm talking about higher self, have you guys ever looked at your screen names from like, you know, when like MySpace and stuff like that was a thing, LiveJournal, Flickr? Have you guys ever looked at your names from years ago? Because I have, and I think it's very telling. Here's what my names were. I'm not going to tell you like my actual names because I don't want you like going and finding me on LiveJournal. But my names were like beautiful soul. Even though I didn't feel like I had a beautiful soul, I had really low self-esteem. I was really depressed. I was really anxious. I did not feel like a beautiful soul. My name was Beautiful Soul. Another one was Chasing Peace, which says it all right there. Chasing Peace. Kelly, you were missing the lesson. You're not supposed to be chasing it. Like I was trying to find peace in other things. Anyway, and then another one was like Secret Bear, like Care Bear style Secret Bear. Anyway, I'm like, now that I'm thinking about Secret Bear, I'm seeing the Hierophant for some reason because of the key. But anyway, I think it's interesting to look back at how my higher self was like planting these little seeds. I'm serious. Anyway, where was I? Beautiful soul. That's where I was. Bright, shiny light. This little light of mine, remember? Awaken the magic you possess in your heart and see your past as the incredible lesson that it was. A history of beautiful and broken things. Oh, Beautifully Broken was another name that I used to use. Beautifully Broken. Beautiful and broken, things that have brought you right here to this moment, to a place where you can bear witness to your own magnificence, where the only judgment to be laid down is by your own honest heart, and where forgiveness of the spirit is the remedy for your beautiful future. What are we but ashes, fire, water, and air, laced with pure magic and dusted with prayer? And then I have to read you the World because the World comes right after Judgment, and the World was the first card that we saw. Completion, success, attainment, 29, 11, 11. You're on the right path. You are in alignment. Attainment, celebration, full circle, joy, ending of a cycle, ascension, tying up loose ends. And that's what I was talking about. Like anything, tie up your loose ends. Anything that's not meant to come with you on this trip, leave it behind. Don't take it with you. Travel plans, a reminder to follow through. Vibrational attainment. She remembers the little girl she used to be, jumping off the cliff and into these unknown waters of divine magic. I don't have the card, so I can't show it to you. I was going to see if it was near, but I'm not seeing it. I see a lot. I'm seeing the Empress. I'm seeing the Sun. This is on page 30, Empress energy. She remembers the little girl she used to be, jumping off the cliff and into these unknown waters of divine magic. And now she lives here, totally at home in this ocean of creation, and she rises out of her vast universe with the world in her hands, and everything is coming to completion. All of the energy is culminating into exciting new endings of success and joy. I like that. Not beginnings, new endings. I like that. She smiles because the closure of fruition is sweet. You've made it. Celebrate. The cycle ends. The circle closes. And I saw a thing on TikTok, of course, that's talking about how like right now for people who are spiritually awakening, it's like exam time. So you're being tested right now, and it's very important to focus on those patterns that you keep repeating and to not bring them through this next transition, to leave them in the past. As you enjoy this closing chapter and witness your success, that your success is on the way, and to witness that your success is soon on the way, you will prepare to be the fool once more, poised for another new ocean of possibility. But first, a moment to breathe and to enjoy in accomplishments. You deserve this success. So again, if you're already someone who's on the Fool journey and you've let go and surrendered to this journey, and you're going through an awakening and you're about to go through a completion, it means you're about to start again. You're about to start another journey on a new timeline. And you're having to make that leap again. And I don't know if we ever stop having to make that leap, surrendering. Maybe it's just like a continuous thing that now we do for the rest of our humanly existence here. Anyway. In wholeness, rise now, bright above, the cusp of joy surrounds, sweet full circle of paths fulfilled, ascendance skips and bounds. Beautiful. And we have the Six of Voices. Transitions. What did I say about 8? Transitions. Help coming from unexpected places, quiet movement, successful expansion after a period of difficulty. This is on page 77. Look at all the little nuggets that Spirit's leaving for you in this reading. You've got 66, 77, 88, 69, 11, 11. Anyway, look some of those up. Distance covered in the hands of the muse. She stands at the edge of her sanity, not knowing how to go any further, but knowing she needs to cross to the other side. Looking up at the heavens, she sends a silent prayer for help and is answered by a lightness that she hasn't felt for so long. The muse of difficult transitions lends a helping hand to those who seek solace and passage to new states of being, living, and loving. Sometimes the way across the river is unclear and muddy. In these times, the muse asks us to be open to receiving help from wonderfully unexpected places. Trust that serendipity will find you. Look for kind gestures of beauty, and keep seeking the bright waters over tomorrow's horizon. As these root and stir inside your soul, you will be moved in the direction of small miracles. Yet forward she crosses her passage of silence, lack laughter without mentions, pervasive steeping, inner quiet, helped by kind intentions. And I had a reading the other day, a personal one, where the reader was explaining the Six of Swords and about how, like, her interpretation, again, this is why I love tarot, because you can learn from other people's interpretations of the card. Her interpretation, the swords were behind the person in the boat, and she said that was very symbolic of the universe guiding you into calmer waters, transitioning you, like giving you a push into calmer waters, because maybe, you know, you weren't learning that lesson, you weren't moving into calmer waters for yourself. Whereas when the swords are in front of you, there's more control to it, if that makes sense. And here we do see someone gently, energetically nudging you to take this leap. And I'm really called to these 3 spines here, these 3 columns, because it's giving me like 3 of Swords energy. And it feels like there's a higher power trying to protect you, like guiding you over this fear of getting hurt, this fear of whatever comes after that. All right, let's get a couple more. 2 more. 2 more. We have the Queen of Emotions, which is Queen of Cups energy. And very interesting, I need to take it. This is the same energy that was coming out in, see, 3 of Voices. Do you see what I mean about the 3 swords in that image? Anyway, I have to take this because we have the Queen of Emotions. We've got Queen energy right here. And then we've got a card talking about collaboration. So perhaps finding your soul tribe. And now we have the Queen of Emotions and the 3 of Materials, which is about collaboration. And we see 3 feminines on that card. And I said the other day, to me, it's very symbolic of the friendships that I'm aligning with right now. Dory could be symbolic to someone because I am seeing a dory fish here. But it could be that you have a gift to be, like, perhaps you are very intuitive. Perhaps you have a gift to share with the world. Perhaps you're meant to help heal people. Perhaps you're meant to collaborate with others and help heal people. With this card, I feel like this is also telling me that once you find your soul path, your destiny, that your path is going to align with the people that you're meant to be aligning with. Interesting. So I feel like I read the Three of Pentacles during the other Soul Tribe reading. Maybe I didn't, but we're going to read it today. Queen of Emotions, Queen of Cups energy, beautiful. I've just recently started to be able to tell sometimes when people are a certain sign, which I find really cool, because I always thought that was cool when somebody could look at me and be like, you got to be a Taurus, or you have to have Libra somewhere in your chart. I always thought that was really cool. And recently like, you guys know I talk about watching reality TV. I haven't actually been watching reality TV in the last month. But when I was starting to be able to tell what signs people were because of the way they behaved. So like, I remember I was watching Survivor, and there was this, if you know who I'm talking about, you get a gold star. And if you don't, you get a star anyway. But Yule, if you know who Yule is, it was like a season where everybody from other seasons returned. And I was listening to Yule and his analytical, logical ways. And I was like, he's got to be a queen, or he's got to be an air sign. He's got to be. Went to Google, he's an air sign. And so I started doing it with other people. And anyway, I find it fun. I don't know what my point was. There was no point. 66 again. Love, emotional intuition and intelligence, creativity, joyful and meaningful connections, collaborations, meaningful connections, calling in your soul tribe, my friends. And again, I can hear some of you like, oh, I'll never have any friends. Must be nice. I'll never have any friends. I'll never meet anyone. I was you. I was you. I was you. Again, 4 months ago, I was like, I'm never going to have any friends. That's not the right card. Relationships, self-care and self-love, feminine nature, the sea of emotions, accessing how you truly feel, and sharing your love with others, creating from the heart. Prompt, tentacles of experience. Rising up from deep within the caverns of the ocean, this queen is connected to all that flows. She is the unconscious bridge between the spaces of the heart and the world that flourishes around it. Her watery nature invites you to flow into portals of self-discovery and work with your own waves to grow compassion and passion, and to connect back to your truest emotions, all of your emotions. I just had a fear this wasn't recording. I looked up, it is. I just had this crazy fear, like, oh my gosh, what if it's not recording? 11505 on the timer, 11505. She asks you to seek this alignment so that your actions, words, thoughts, and breath all beat in the rhythm with your true feelings. See yourself as you truly are and feel your essence as you truly feel. This nurturing, caring energy is one that washes away unhealthy attachments and bubbles down through the earth to create foundations of sacred space in relationships. It allows strong empathy without the energetic baggage of taking on other people's stuff, and it breeds intuitive creativity and small pockets of devotional joy. Fall into the queen's flowing compassion. Like the sea, I flow in and out of breath, waiting in the lapping liminality of a heart song. Clearly, I don't know what that word is. And then we have 3 of materials, which I want to read. The magic of collaboration, siblinghood, This card, the 3 card, talks about siblings. Soul siblings, maybe. Anyway, siblings could be symbolic. Collaboration of souls, love it. Siblinghood, teamwork, group dynamics, relationships and responsibilities, mentors and students, getting along, helping one another, coming together for a common goal, cooperation, fusing energies. Coming together for a cooperative goal. That's what that card said. 93 could be symbolic. They weave, play, create, and spin their world to life. These muses of collaboration and creation are able to spin brand new mixtures and to form new life out of seemingly nothing by adding their intention, energy, love, and ideas. Oh, and their work and their expertise. While one is leading, the others learn from her, and they sway and they twist, and they flow from mentor to apprentice, teaching and absorbing. In their sacred flow, they draw in all of the materials needed to create their spire of creation, their beautiful pattern of life. You too can work in unison with those around you, picking up leftover strings and filling the gaps. This secret is the harmony to the pull-push of egos dropped and the respectful sway of mutually beneficial awe for one another's talents. Show up in essence and create a loom of magnificence with those around you. In this sacred entangle, we create, form, and make energetic communion of breathed breath, give and take. Anyway, so that's your reading. I'm going to get you these affirmations today because I think you are awesome. And I think you need to be told more how awesome you are. That's what I think. That's what I know. You matter, okay? Your existence matters. Your existence matters to me. Note to self, you are amazing. I told you so. That's why I got this deck, because you're so awesome. Look, how many times do I say it's freaking magical when the card on the front comes out for you, and you've had that twice in this reading. That's magic. I need to take that bottom card. Thank you. I looked at it and Spirit said, you better take it. Embrace the glorious mess that you are, beautifully broken. Except you're not broken at all. Somebody just made you feel like you were. This is the one I was told to take. Positivity, confidence, and persistence are the key in life, so never give up on yourself. And again, the only one that can give up on you is you. As long as you don't give up on yourself. Elizabeth Gilbert. Is she from Little House on the Prairie? Or no, that's Melissa Gilbert. Anyway. I don't really know. Once we believe, oh, I love it. Once we believe in ourselves, we can risk curiosity, wonder, spontaneous delight, or any experience that reveals the human spirit. E.E. Cummings. And then you had some other ones come out, so I'm just gonna give them to you. You're a star, so let your light shine. This little light of mine. You yourself, as much as anybody in the universe, deserve your love and affection. And what was I saying about that guy who kept going on Hinge or whatever? And he was like, I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. I don't know what I'm looking for. You're looking for yourself. That's what you're looking for. You're missing love in your life. You're missing self-love in your life. That's what I believe. Now and then could be symbolic. I keep hearing quotes from now and then. I am larger, better than I thought. I did not know I held so much goodness. Walt Whitman. And then we have these 3, so I'm just going to take them. Doubt whom you will, but never yourself. It's your time to strike. Take action. Go for it. If you've been waiting to start something, now is the time. The more I hold myself close and fully embrace who I am, the more I thrive. Elliot Page. Beautiful. Elliot Page, you know, not to go all weird, but I do feel a connection to Elliot Page. I have a lot of respect for Elliot Page. And when my child came out as like, and said that they were transgender and they wanted to change their name, they chose the name Elliot. Anyway. Imagine how hard it was for Elliot Page, if I'm thinking of the right, like, if I've got this right. My ego's like, maybe Elliot Page isn't who you think Elliot Page is. But if you think about it, like how hard it must have been for them to be their true authentic self when they were already in the spotlight. You know, I found it hard to be my true authentic self coming from where I was. So I have a lot of respect for the people in the spotlight who are now being their true authentic selves and inspiring others. Anyway, I'm going to leave this reading here. Be original. Don't be scared of being bold. Ed Sheeran. I'm going to leave it here. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.